Distance of a trophy. Andrew Small gets the cup final call. He'll be supported by Peter Huckle, Paul Dix on the pitch, Jeff Warren in front of the TV. And wherever you find yourself today, this is exactly the kind of occasion to keep this momentous weekend of rugby bubbling along. The LV Cup final, the first domestic competition of the season to be decided. Will the West Country be going wild? Or will they be ecstatic in the East Midlands of England? And there are plenty who have made the trip to be here to see it from Northampton. It's a terrific atmosphere. It's also a very windy day. The pitch has really dried up, benefited from the sunshine and that wind, but it will play its part, this breeze.
Well, the kickers, so much pressure on them today. The half-backs have to do a lot here to help Glenn Dixon, who comes in very late for Myler. Myler has been a key component in Northampton's team. For Exeter, Henry Slade did not have the best semi-final, but Rob Baxter has showed real faith in this promising young player. He knows the wind better than Dixon. He needs a big game today.
First scrum. Chiefs to put in. Dave Lewis with the ball, scored a try in the loss here in the Premiership to Northampton in February. Really tight that game though. And Vainikolo gets involved straight away, the Tongan international. Off that wing into midfield. Caused such damage last week when he came off the bench against Bath. Hoani Tui, who leaves all of this at the end of the season to go to France. Damien Welsh. Out it goes to Slade, on to Schumann. Vainikolo again. Early hands here then for the home side to settle into cup final day. Here's Kai Horseman. Slade once more. Ben White and Dave Ewers. This is Dolman. Oh, a gap. Dolman again. Ooh.
Well, it was brilliant from Dolman until the final pass. It's difficult passing in this wind, but off the left hand he'll be disappointed. The stretch, a little dummy here, step inside, and there is a real chance because Vainikolo is so quick. But Dolman, playing outside centre today, lovely little show, step off the right foot. He'll be disappointed he didn't locate the winger, but I think Vainikolo could have stepped in to help him.
Down from Christian Day. Was, from a Northampton point of view, an alarming gap in that defence, well created as it was by Dolman, having looked so organised before that. Early penalty, it's windy out there, but the Chiefs have attacked very much on their mind in these opening minutes.
Cup final, normally you go for the point, but it is perilous kicking for goal. The wind is going a long way. And that's probably the right decision for Exeter. I think it's a 50-50 chance at goal. That makes it worthwhile going for the extra points.
Whitehead throws and throws very well indeed. The crowd call for this early surge from the pack. Northampton with some big names, some big men involved here, but there is very little they can do to stop that. What a start for the Chiefs. It's a cup final try, and a cup final try at home in the opening 4 minutes. Whitehead, who threw it in, finished it off.
Well, hats off to Dean Munn, the captain. He made the call. Let's go for the corner, let's go for the jugular. Last week against Bath, as I said, Jack Rowell and myself were saying, what happened to the Exeter line-out? Well, 1 week on, what was a weakness becomes a very strong power. The tomahawk chop in full flow as the Exeter steam hammer goes over. The perfect start if Slade kicks this. And this is an important kick because this will do so much for Henry Slade's confidence should this kick go over.
Having turned the penalty goal down, it became a conversion. But they can't wipe the 5 points off the scoreboard. That will stay there. And what a strong start.
Just great decision making. They kept the ball. There was real patience there. Whitehead, nervous in the semi-final, inspired here. And remember, it's difficult windy conditions for the thrower as well. Brilliant from Exeter.
Saw the reactions of Ewers and White and the rest of those Chiefs forwards. Knew exactly what they'd done, not just to create a 5-pointer, but psychologically that is massive.
Yeah, because Northampton are so strong in that area of play. They've gone to the strength of Northampton and they've asked questions of them.
Back goes Ken Pesey. Ben Foden recovered from that knee injury that he suffered way back in November. First start back was last week in the semi-final. Slade takes them on. And Lewis waits. Northampton at last inside the Chiefs half, but not for long as Whitehead, the try scorer, takes it on. Lewis. Tui. There's Ben White, man of the match last week in the semi-final against Bath. Slade again. This is Arscott. 2 tries in that game a week ago. Good pick-up from Dolman. Jest looking for work. Looking for support as well. He found that. Lewis. Good kick. Good use of the surface, use of the wind.
Super play from Phil Dolman as well. He made the initial break that led to the penalty for the try. Exeter overplaying it, going nowhere, scooped it up, and then with nothing on, Dave Lewis makes a really good call from half-back. Let's just go 30 metres downfield, early stage of the final, and we'll put the pressure on Mike Haywood and the Northampton line out.
Coach's instruction to his team, Rob Baxter, do not worry about losing this. Go out and play. Jim Malander would have uttered similar words, I'm sure. But it's certainly Exeter's way is to play the game with tempo. We saw right at the start of the European Cup, that first half against the Cardiff Blues, when they really click. They can be hard to stop. The drop by Schumacher, and it's a knock-on from Northampton as well. The first one from the Chief, from Schumacher, and Northampton have a chance here to get into the game.
Yeah, got to be a little bit careful, Exeter. Some very loose passing there. Obviously, the adrenaline is high there, but that's too wide, too early. That's very easy for Northampton. Although the first Northampton line-out was interesting. Mike Haywood did not find his man. It went through to Alex Waller, and you could see Exeter got to the pressure and got half a charge down on Foto Aliti. So Northampton really need to get into this game. Only way they're in so far is the error of Exeter.
Saints who lost 4 English Cup finals the day before the LD competition when England and Wales joined forces. 91, 2000, 2002, 2003. The Saints supporters will hardly need reminding of those days, but the trophy drought years have come to an end. 7 finals in the last 7 seasons now for Northampton. As Foden plays for a bit of position for his side.
I just settled the game from Northampton's point of view there. Wasn't the greatest scrum. Foto Aliti very quick, and the wind is blowing left to right across the pitch, so Foden just keeps it low. There will be danger. If you put too much height on this ball, it's just going to fade out on the full. Rarity there. A strike as opposed to a pushover. Foto Aliti does very well to pick it up. Foden doesn't put it in the air, doesn't let it fade on the wind, just finds the territory.
Please ensure your flankers stay on the second row.
We'll be thinking at some point about a possible England tour in the summer to New Zealand. Wasn't involved in the Six Nations because of that injury. Others stepping in and taking their opportunities, no doubt about that, in England colours.
Well, Ben Foden is to get himself back into the England setup. This would be a good start for him to make an impression on Stuart Lancaster, because with Brown claiming that full-back position, you've got Good there, and you've got all sorts of options coming back on the wing. It's a real battle in the back three. It's a real battle here at Exeter as well, after a poor start for the favourites.
Waiting for Whitehead, he's okay. Just drifts though on the throw, that not so okay from Chris Whitehead. Made a strong start to the game, typified with his score, but that a mistake from the Hawk. It's going to be difficult to throw to the tail, it is that windy.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes. I mean, Northampton have got good pressure at the front, but that might be where Exeter need to go, and I suspect as the game goes on, Day's a very good caller of a line-out, and Manoa is a powerful presence himself, and I think with Dowson there, smart too. I do think Northampton will try and get to Exeter in that area.
Set.
Khan Fotuali'i puts in. Such strong form, Fotuali'i. And that was pretty strong for the Northampton 8. Good reply from the likes of Clark and Dowson and Manoa and Day.
Shot is called.
And of course the front row.
Yeah, it's a very good scrum there. Got the nudge on. Exeter always going backwards under pressure. Now there's a big moment. Myler, as I said earlier, has been such a key player for Northampton. Absolutely instrumental in their season, just pulling the strings. And now Glenn Dixon comes not just to orchestrate the team, but to do what Myler has been doing so well, and often under extreme pressure, kick the goals. Now that last kick, Henry Slade really needed to aim it to the right of the post and let it come. He didn't, he aimed it in the middle and it went the other way. This one almost needs to go towards the left-hand post and let it fade back in.
Scored 44 points in the competition this season, but not in the squad last week. Stephen Myler was picked for this game, so Glenn Dixon looking to step up again. He's hit that very well indeed. And the ball held its line, and the kickers will be encouraged by that. And Dixon will be encouraged by his own personal strike. He hit that really well.
He did. I think it was a brief hiatus though, because the wind's picked up as soon as he's hit it. That's a lovely strike, and for someone who's come in quite late in the day for a final, that's going to make Glenn Dixon feel a whole lot better.
Slade restarts. It was Ken Pesey who just set it up. And Christian Day, who finds himself in midfield. Fotuali'i denied getting the ball away. And it's been deemed a knock on.
Do you know what? He threw that straight at the man who was retreating.
Scrum only.
And with Andrew Small saying he's doing his best to get back offside, that's almost ungentlemanly behaviour, you know. It's a classic scrum half ploy, and I must say it, Lee Dixon of Northampton for years has been at the forefront of throwing balls at blokes trying to get out the way. Great refereeing there from Andrew Small. Did not buy that one from Fotuali'i for 1 second.
Dixon not part of this team. On England duty this weekend, Tom Wood and Hartley, Courtney Laws. Of course for Exeter, Jack Noel and Tom Johnson as well. Referee might reset this one, he does. Both sides were getting up together. It's becoming a really good contest, this, at the scrum.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, Exeter had the nudge on the first scrum, but then Northampton squeezed them on the 22, got a 3-point penalty, but Exeter come back hard at them now. I say Tui on the tight head, off to Leon at the end of the season. He's had a really strong last few weeks, played excellently at Bath.
There's another absent Saint.
18.
Of course, Alex Corbisier, Lion, as well as Northampton and England. Lion will go down in history for what he did in that series. Frustratingly out-injured at the moment for him and his club and country.
Well, it's an excellent scrum again. Pressure.
This one might not be reset. The referee lets it develop. to the point where Northampton can get it away. The Chiefs seem to have the nudge on there. Just outside the 22, Fertualiti, so he takes on the kick himself, and that catches the wind, pulls it back, and it might work for the Chiefs. Whistle's gone.
2 knock-ons. There you saw just how awful this wind can be. Fertualiti. I mean, it's good for box kicking because you want the ball coming back because it gives your chasers a chance to get there. But as soon as you hit it high, it's coming back so far and so fast that you're not actually going anywhere. It makes it very difficult then.
No, that came back too far, didn't it? It gave the Chiefs the momentum to run onto the ball.
And the thing is, if you want to hit it lower into the wind and go further, then you risk getting the charge down, which Fertualiti suffered early on. So see there, he gets the elevation, but to get the elevation, you end up with the ball just backpedaling there. And had that ball been held by Welsh, that's a dangerous situation.
I mentioned that tight meeting between these two, 17-16 at the start of February. Northampton more convincing in their victory at Franklin's right at the start of the season, 38-11. So 2-0 to the Saints in the Premiership. 5-3 to the Chiefs so far in this game, and they are looking threatening until they give the penalty away. Holding on the call from Andrew Small.
It's super play for Fertualiti. I must say though, Dolman has looked pretty dangerous early on, threatening the gain line. The Samoan scrum halves, his defensive work is really good here. Look at the scrum half, bang, he's in, he's fast, and when a referee says holding on, actually the translation of it is the other bloke from the other team got there first and there was nothing you can do about it. So it's a penalty against Dolman, but it's a brilliant piece of play from Khan Fertualiti there.
Let's take the point. Had nobody else been there, he might have got a little bit longer to hold on. Mike Haywood goes to the front this time. Safe call, the right call. And now it's the Saints' turn to get them all moving. Ma'afu sent back in. The Australian international prop, Haywood as well. Samu Manoa, the American international.
That's one now.
It is a big Northampton pack, and they'll be looking to make it count.
Just hold.
There's Haywood going low. Just ran out of ideas.
I think it's almost as if Dowsing's pack had their pride dented by that try, and they're just saying, right, we're just going to show you that we can dominate as well. Again, the wind so important here. He can let this one go, Henry Slade. Fire this down the 5 and let it come. But again, it's just safe. He's finding touch. It's a tentative start there from the fly half. It's a disappointing one for Dowson's pack.
4 green.
As they ground themselves to a halt there.
5 Matt, green 5.
Very interesting though, the last line-out didn't take on the wind, did they?
5 green,
Northampton went to Manoa straight away. Do Exeter tighten up and go to the front with Kai Horseman, they do.
Play there.
There is Horseman, the former Harlequin and Worcester player. But from Slade, no problem for Ben Foden. Kempisi, that might be a problem with Dolman around his ankles.
Leave it now, 14.
Dixon going forward. Van Veltzer putting his head down as well.
Balls away, play on.
And over that recent concussion against Gloucester. Reason why he missed out last week, as he was rested.
Hold green forwards, hold.
Dixon again, it's caught the wind once more. But it's well judged by Slade, who's got a bit of space in front of him. Comes up against Waller. Tackle from Alex Waller, now an England Saxon. Whitehead. Lewis throws the dummy. He was well watched. Samu Manoa on the floor who made that tackle. Here's Slade. Ball lost in the challenge. But there's been a call from the assistant on this side. It's a penalty, and it's also a bit of a flare-up.
It's a flare-up, it's a final. No big deal there. Waller's tackle, though, on Slade was an absolute beauty. A split second, you could have renamed him Alex Wallop, couldn't you? It was great technique. Slade looking for space. Really great technique there. Gets low, but he doesn't spear him down.
Where am I? Here? Here?
For the last kick, Miles, Henry Slade. I don't think this is going for goal range.
Offside, 1 green.
But he's got a chance just to hold this ball in field and let it fade a bit, use the wind, make this a really attacking line out. Oh, much better.
It's a good tackle by Waller, but he's the man who's been signalled out for the offside.
Now they can ask questions now, Exeter, because they've got a driving line out that scored once. They can just hold some of the Northampton forwards in there. Guys like Dowson can't just fly out on Slade. They're worried about the drive tight.
He's good now. He's dropped.
And back to watching on with Andy Heath, of course, the former Saint in the Heineken Cup with the Saints 14 years ago now. It's carried by Ben Moon. Lewis to Dean Martin.
It's a good take.
Slade, Schumacher, the Kiwi, former Highlander. He's captained the Chiefs in this competition this season. Jason Schumacher, nothing coming back. Andrew Small has put his cards on the table this afternoon. As far as that is concerned, it's got to come back quickly for Mr. Small.
Some smart defence again from Northampton. The middle five of the team doing a really good job there. Callum Clark does an excellent job after Foto Ali'i killed an attack a couple of minutes ago. To just have to get the men there on the support players a little bit quicker. You can see Slade's the first one in, but it's a fly half against a blindside flanker, and 9 times out of 10 the blindside, the expert's going to win that battle.
There's Callum Clark again, and that's a fine pickup by Foto Ali'i. It brings out his abrasive side, which is not too far away from the surface at any point of any game. Dixon tries to throw the dummy, nobody buys it. Wearing the colours of the Chiefs. Foto Ali'i again to Hayward, getting his chance with no Hartley. His replacement in the Premiership final last season, Mike Hayward. Understudy, of course, to England's #1, #2. Kempisi after this.
Decent kick from Foto Ali'i. Shown a lot of experience here, there's no doubt at all. The wind is across the pitch, but it's also with Exeter at the moment. I think 20 minutes into the game, 5-3 down. Northampton's point of view, they'll be saying, hey, let's try and keep Exeter out of our territory as much as possible in this first half, because we have a much easier chance to play there in the second, where we want to be playing.
Whitehead to throw again. Spot on, not the palm, but Dave Lewis didn't panic, nor does PC, or might have done. Something has to explain that. It didn't initially, but then as the chasers were up at his face, wasn't so good from Kempisi. Dixon hoping the wind would play its part, but not that much.
Well, that's what we were saying. You go high and you kick to that touchline, it is going to fade. To be honest, Exeter were ready for it anyway. Let's just call that a technical aberration, shall we? And Dixon's kick was pretty much the same thing as well. But it's a final. Northampton are put under pressure for a bad pass, and then it comes back to the fly half, and you can see Exeter are waiting for it, and he knows that that's a shocker.
In comes from Feltzer there in front of viewers. Fine work. Foto Ali'i. Varnicolo's got it, he's not got much space. Touchline was so close, but he did really well, although it's Northampton who profit. And it's Waller, Ma'afu, Van Veltzer again. Oh, fine work from the South African. And now he's got Samu Manoa, who's stepping. Tried to stay on his feet long enough for the support to arrive, and did with that step. Wilson goes wide. Nice Jamie Elliott. And Elliott is flying down that wing, and Oscar comes across and makes a lovely take. Ball still alive. Dowson into midfield. Photo Lee, there's certainly men there for the Saints. One of them is Elliott again. George Peacey trying to get into the game. The man who scored 3 tries in the semi-final. Short side for Photo Lee. And Foden there as well. There's a flag up. And for the first time really in the match, Northampton getting backs involved and starting to ask some questions of their own.
Luke Arscott should be putting that ball into touch, not sticking it 30 metres upfield. And that man, Photo Lee, all the little bits and pieces at the moment. Find a Colo on the wing. Wins this kick. Watch out for the scrum half. So you think the left wing from Exeter wins it? Look how quick the scrum half is onto that one. It's fast as any back row forward. Really strong play.
Goes Damien Welsh, and he's got it. It's quickly fed back to Dave Lewis. A little bit of help required for Welsh there, and he got it. Oh, tumbling goes Jamie Elliott. Manoa puts it on the floor, and Waller and Dixon has got through the challenge, and that might have hurt. Referee has a look over his shoulder. Play continues, and it's George Peacey, and we know how he can finish. Who's there for Northampton? It's Wilson, and Wilson takes it on now. George Peacey for a second was nearly away there. Oh, that's lovely off the floor work to find Hayward. Now it's Van Veltzer coming back inside, cutting a good line. It's a penalty at the very least for Northampton, and it will have to stay as a penalty as they can't quite get towards that corner.
Cutting edge of Northampton came into play there. You miss one tackle, you're in trouble. I think it's Chris Whitehead, the hooker, comes in very hard. He misses the tackle. Then they're through the gap, and Peacey's such a dangerous player. Whitehead went high, he really hurt himself, and from there on, Peacey and co are very dangerous. And you can see the footballing skills of Northampton keeping this ball alive now.
Time off, head injury, 2 black.
Yes, Whitehead still receiving treatment. When George Peacey gets it in those situations, and the opposition know they could be in for a whole lot of trouble, and Jim Mallender would have been hopeful at that point, really hopeful. 3 tries last week, went straight to the top, or equal top of the try scorers of this season's competition.
Just for Exeter, you know, Northampton is so dangerous when you get in behind. They have to make the first line tackle.
Time on, Matthew.
Whitehead plays on. That's brave from him. His opposite number, Hayward, to throw in.
Some more.
From Veltzer again. Big at the line out. Christian Day's got it, trying to stay attached. Now he goes, supported by Waller. Dowson looks and waits. The captain. Key decisions to be made here. Dowson leads the line. And almost up to the line that really matters. The ball got smothered, but Northampton have a chance to go again.
Yeah. It's the first, it's not a siege, is it? But it's the first searching test that's coming aimed at Exeter at the moment. Northampton applying some physical power. And we've seen some good scrums from Exeter. But we've also seen Northampton in the 22 force penalties. 5 metres out, Miles, they might be looking to force more than a penalty. Photo Lee on the right-hand scrum is a very low slump, dangerous runner.
You mentioned the word siege, and that's exactly the word used by Phil Dowson this week. Siege mentality, coming to an opposition ground for a final. Just go there and use it, work with it, enjoy being there, down in their territory, in their corner, and dig deep and show what the team is made of. This is the perfect example to do that.
It's interesting, isn't it, when the scrums have been round the halfway line in Northampton's own half, Exeter have got the nudge, but the first scrum, Northampton were within kicking distance. They found a lot, and that one there's pressure, and Tuani just going to be a little chat here.
Yeah, sure.
All that experience from Phil Dowson, very strong personality, intelligent rugby player.
And captain of the side in 2010 that won this competition. Only final win for the Saints before, 2 defeats and the 1 win against Gloucester 4 years ago. To say Dowson was captain that day.
It's where the home crowd, you can hear them trying to do their bit to lift their team. I think the Devonians and Rock Baxter, well, he certainly knows that Northampton are going to come at them hard here. Van Veltzer, he's another powerful character, isn't he? We've seen one break from him already. Big, powerful thighs, a hard man to stop from close range.
I'll be on it.
Sam Dickinson, nursing an ankle injury at the moment, was involved last week. He got further strapped up in the game. If you remember, GJ Van Veltzer, as I said before, recovered from that concussion that he received against Gloucester. As you say, very, very powerful man. In moments like this, coming off the back of that scrum with not too many metres to make.
And men like Day and Manoa just giving real drive into the engine here. Big challenge for short side as well, with Dave Ewers' experience.
And on it goes.
Well, the Northampton crowd, the Northampton players are complaining there, but scrum had wheeled too far, and that's why Andrew Small restated. But I think they're possibly also saying, well, they've just whipped this one round. Well, you can see Waller, body position there. He's come up and he's coming in at an angle, but the question is it because Tui's under so much pressure? They're shouting to Small, we've got him. It's all psychological games going on.
Well, whether it was legal or illegal, Tui was certainly under pressure there, and Waller will be looking to make it count once more on the loose head side, but that's gone against the head. The missed strike from Haywood, and it's the penalty to the Chiefs, and they win that little battle.
That is not far short of being as big a moment in the first half as the try, you know, because you did sense then Northampton were building something, and Northampton will be livid with what's happened in that scrum. He struck, you're right, I think he just struck it through into the Exeter side. It wasn't that Exeter got everything right in that scrum, but Northampton got a lot wrong. Boom, straight through the right boot of Mike Haywood into the Exeter second row. That's a reprieve.
It's as if what was happening outside of Haywood there between Waller and Hoani Tui prevented him from doing his prime job, which was to strike the ball 5 metres out. Taken by Peacey, Ken Peacey. Here's Dixon. Once again, he tries to take them on. For Tualii. Plenty of possession now for the Saints. That's really turned around, hasn't it? As we go into this final 10 minutes of this first half, just the one try scored by Chris Whitehead really early on in the match, inside the first 5 minutes. Samuel Manoa again, and when Northampton get him carrying, it really could happen for them.
But at the moment, all these tackles, Miles, they're short of the gain line, and that's why Exeter lead, because Northampton cannot bridge the gain line initially.
Dowson to Clark. Clark, ooh, it's awkward for George Peacey's done really well to pluck it out of the air and find his colleagues. Dowson acts as the scrum half. Hayward gets it on, and then it's the New Zealanders, Dixon and Wilson. And again, it wasn't really across the gain line, was it? Not up to halfway.
Not ideal from Exeter's point of view if Northampton keep passing backwards and trying to force the pace because they're not able to make the gain line. But frankly, that is big news there. This is the last thing Northampton want to be doing. Driven backwards, loose passes, held in the end, but going nowhere.
Phil Dolman is receiving some treatment at the moment. He's been pulling himself about. He goes back to the two legs of the championship final, of course, 4 years ago, when the Chiefs, coming out of that league and into the Premiership, they've achieved so much since then as well. But what they haven't done is win a major trophy. Have to go back to 1996 and the Devon Senior Cup, the 8th year in a row that Exeter won that.
And all due respect to the Devon Senior Cup, that is not a senior trophy.
Fair to say they were favourites going into that final.
Who did they play?
Don't ask me such facts. Schumacher.
Great defence.
They're from Devon. Oh, right into Andrew Small goes Luke Arscott. No material effect on the game, says Mr. Small. Did well to have a view of it. Foden up the line, not much to work with. In comes Arscott, takes control away from Lewis there. Arscott's a strong man, he's putting himself about. Scored 2 tries last week, won a sensational individual effort where he really did show his strength. And talking about strength, there's big Dave Ewers, it's a penalty coming. And Lewis and Exeter want it. Mum immediately points to the post.
Well, this is quite interesting. This is Leinster move Rob Baxter's got going on. There's a hole that is going to be forged here as Northampton wait. And what is trying to happen, the inside pass to the supporter, he hits Small, but that is the Rob Carney line from Twickenham. And you can see if Small's not there, there's half a gap there, just trying to pull Northampton wide, and it's the big pass from out to in. In the end, it's slowed down by the referee.
I'll tell you what, Alex Waller was a bit blocked by what happened there between fullback and ref. Whistle could easily have gone there to restart the game. It didn't. He went at the end of the move, giving
I think it's fair
Henry
enough.
Slade this chance.
I think it's fair enough, Miles. It blocked Waller, but it also took some of the sting out of a dangerous move. Big kick for Slade here. He's got to get his game going.
Got to judge this win too.
No.
And the higher it goes, the more
22 seconds
of a part the wind will play.
He's not reading the wind, Miles. Again, he's aiming at the centre of the post, and it's going to go a long way. The other side of the pitch, he aimed at the centre, it faded across. That time he aims at centre, and it just pulls back. He's got to be aiming at that right post and letting it come back. You see that again. You know, there's an ooh and an ah that it's close, but that's a bad miss.
3 from 6 last week.
And 3 quite comfortable misses as well.
backwards off green play.
Good hands from Northampton, and it's Wilson off to George Peacey. Back on the Exeter side, and Lewis wants someone to cut a line. That man is normally Dolman. Such an intelligent rugby player. Whitehead, good service to Slade. Schumacher, good strength, came through the challenge, looks for support. Jess was trying to get there with him, Matt Jess. Referee playing advantage here to the Chiefs for the offside. So it's a free play. And it's Moon up the middle. Lewis. Last time he wanted the penalty and Mum did as well.
Holding on there.
This time the referee makes the call for the Exeter Chiefs.
Yeah.
But this is the same spot, in 1 metre from where young Henry Slade missed his first kick at goal. And this is a final, and Northampton are going to have wind in the second half. And you've got to start turning these into 3 points. You know, some bad goal kicking, and they got away with it because Bath were very tentative in the last 10 minutes. Northampton are a very different kettle of fish to an understrength Bath team, and Exeter with the wind need to build it. We said for this game every facet of their game has to work if they're to win. That includes goal kicking. 0 out of 2 so far, and the 2 misses, even with this wind, have not been that difficult. He's got the range here. This has to be aimed at that right foot, at the right post, and just let it drift in 1 metre.
Remember Gareth Steenson on the bench, the Chiefs' top point scorer in their relatively brief Premiership history, but he's got a fair few points in those seasons, Steenson.
He knows this wind, doesn't he?
Knows this ground, knows this wind. Slade needs to do that part of the job as well, and the Chiefs supporters wishing him well, and he's delivered, and that shows great character for the young man who's 21 years of age next week.
Henry Slade needed that, Exeter needed that. Breeze with them. I don't think Northampton will be too worried about the 5-point deficit at the moment. From Exeter's point of view, they need to build every single point. That's a useful 3.
And he looks happier, he's shouting the orders now. Yeah. Ran back over halfway with a genuine spring in his step.
Kai Horseman's played well.
Yep.
Lewis. Putting a lot of balls on Ken Pesey. You'd expect that though with the elements in the direction of that wind. Foden, Hayward. Ken Pesey again, out to Samuel Manoa. Here's George Pesey looking to go on the outside, also looking for support. And there is Elliott. It popped up for Elliott, and Elliott goes on. Referee going back for the knock-on. It's Peter Huckle on that far side who helped out Andrew Small.
He's quick, isn't he, Elliott? I think that ball goes backwards from Ken Pesey. Elliott has got a real shift in terms of his change of pace, though, hasn't he? Great balance. Does this go forward? It's called by the official, so we'll live with that one.
Well, Andrew Small just saying there that he thought it was okay, but you could also see from that first replay, Peter Huckle onto the communication system. He called it straight away. To be fair, I think he had the best view of a lot of us.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, to my eye, it looked as if it went backwards. I'm with Andrew Small there, but the assistant referee had the best view, so you go with it, whatever it is.
Because ultimately you haven't got much choice. It's not going to be changed. Although we did see a yellow card turn into red at the Millennium Stadium yesterday.
Well, I must admit, I was sitting in the press box at Cardiff, Miles, and I saw Stuart Hogg, that shoulder go in. I thought, whoa, you're lucky to get a yellow card. But Garth says, a real rarity, looking up at the screen and saying red, but he was right, and that was a real piece of fine officiating.
18. Crouch.
Oh, look at the time, almost half time.
Yeah, I think 8-3 to Exeter. I don't know what Dowie and Ryan and Richard think, but I think probably it's advantage Northampton. Scoreboard one way, but the win with Northampton this half.
Tui was up out of that scrum again. There's Slade, here comes Arscott, great line. Oh, nearly an interception for Foto Elite. He's gone forward.
Is it?
It's not been given deliberate. I don't see how it was. He was trying to intercept the ball there genuinely to go the length of the field, or what remained of the field.
I tell you, Carl Foto-Elite has had a really good game without the ball. I know it sounds daft, but he's been falling on it, he's been covering, making tackles. Much better from the Exeter backs, though, trying to get Arscott, one of the most dangerous players, into the game. It's been a little spate of seeing anything that goes forward off a hand given as deliberate when they're quite clearly not, and I think Andrew Small has been sympathetic there, and he's got that right. So we approach half-time. As I say, Exeter are right in this game. They haven't been overawed. Their scrum's gone well. They've got a try from the line-out drive, but I think maybe their kicking game hasn't been quite as good as it could have been, and I think it's shade advantage Northampton.
Even though Exeter lead by 8 points to 3, the difference that Whitehead try.
Set.
143-year history, never won a major trophy, lost 4 finals. The old Power Gen Challenge Cup and the National Trophy. These two once met in that final here at Sandy Park today. In the LV Cup final 2014, the home side, Exeter Chiefs, do lead, courtesy of that try from Chris Whitehead in the first half. Henry Slade has added 3 points after a couple of misses. And for Northampton, it's just the Glenn Dixon penalty goal. It's tight, it's really tight, and the atmosphere absolutely terrific. That is not going to get any less, it's just going to get more.
Cheers, Ali.
Thanks.
So here we go then for this second half. Northampton with the wind, but not with the lead at this stage. Dave Ewers. No changes made by either side at half-time. Henry Slade, oh, he's charged down. Picked up by Arscott. Still got a lot to do here, the Chiefs, to clear this situation. Slade on his favoured side, but he couldn't get that one away. But the Chiefs might now, as they get the penalty.
Great pressure from James Wilson there. Very quick. Slade, one step too many, and the Kiwi from Southland is in on him. The bounce very fortuitous for Exeter. Super pressure from the inside centre, but Arscott fast in mind, and he's very fast on his feet. That's all too technical, that's all too textbook, isn't it? And the New Zealander all over him there, and just maybe adds a little sense of nervousness to young Henry Slade's game. Did leave some points out there. A difficult conversion, 2 fairly easy penalties. They need to be taken. The other thing that Ali Heifer said, I think he's right, this half Exeter need to keep ball. Their kicking game isn't brilliant. They've got to try and start stretching Northampton and find holes infield from that.
Northampton ball at the line out. Mike Hayward. Alex Waller. Fertualiti finds Dixon. Here's Wilson with that charge down. Got a try here in February. He was playing at fullback. Nearly got another there right at the start of his second half. Callum Clark. Samu Manoa. Waller heavily involved again, his brother Ethan on the bench. It's the other way round for starting and replacement last week, but not in the final. Older brother gets the starting nod. Another player starting to knock on the England door. Fertualiti finds Callum Clark, who led the side in the final 2 years ago. Of course, that went horribly wrong, both for the team, but certainly personally for Clark. Hayward, good step from the hooker, got away from the would-be tackler, and now inside that Exeter 22 with Fertualiti. Celesima Arfu somewhere underneath that, but it's good defence from the Chiefs.
It's interesting, neither side have first half committed very many men to the breakdown, and that's one of the reasons I think why we've had a number of turnovers, and it's also a reason why Northampton aren't getting the speed of ball that they're so used to when they're at their best and penetrating the game line. It's both teams perhaps a little bit cagey and worried about leaving defenders outnumbered by attackers, and that's why I think the defensive line has certainly got it over the attacking line at the moment.
Both teams are missing an absent Tom, aren't they? Very important men at the breakdown. Tom Johnson, yes. Tom Wood.
Yeah, they are, and just a little bit of intent. There's a sort of a nervousness that comes perhaps with the finals, trying to keep the ball but trying not to risk numbers.
Some more.
Whitehead and Welsh again working well together at the line-out. Out comes Callum Clark. He's going to rejoin, you would have thought. He does now. Meantime, it's made in excess of 10 metres, and Andrew Small says penalty. Another big moment for the Exeter Chiefs pack. They started the first half like this. Of course, it led to a try.
Entry 5 green. 5 green.
Christian Day.
Right decision here for Exeter is not to go for goal, it's to go for the corner. It was about 5 minutes into the first half, the line-out led to the try. 4.5 minutes in. That's a super kick. 4.5 minutes, the forwards have gone 12 metres, they've earned the penalty. Henry Slade's just found his best moment of the game with a beautifully judged kick, and that was brave, because that's a final and he's under pressure to go for it. It was an indifferent first half, but that's a beautiful kick in the second half from Slade. He's only 5 metres from touch, he doesn't have to put a great deal onto it, but the weight and the accuracy is gorgeous.
You've got to like that about his character again.
Yeah.
And also skill too, of course, to produce that. Now can the Chiefs deliver another rolling maul moment? Down it goes, Andrew Small just waves it on, and the Chiefs go on. But as they do, they concede the penalty.
Well, when that maul collapsed, Kai Horseman picked up, saw space, and he drove, and the drive looked good, but he got himself isolated. Northampton did very well. By fair or foul, they were able to bring that drive to ground, and when they did that, Kai Horseman saw an opportunity. He picked and he drove, and he found himself isolated. So that was really good play there from Northampton.
First versus 8th in the Premiership. It's going out the window today so far. That one going through the window all the way to GJ van Veltzer. Here's Dixon. He does love to take it up, doesn't he, the fly half? Got some physical presence, so too Wilson, his fellow New Zealander. Floats to Elite, just that little short pop pass. Jamie Elliott, threatening man if Northampton can find him in space. Elliott floating the ball into midfield today is a risky operation.
That's a poor pass, gave a real chance for Schumacher, didn't it?
Here's Haywood, Foden, George Peacey's got a great handoff, he uses it twice, ball inside, Foden can't quite get there. Dave Lewis was trying to get back and did. Dixon is hurried into that, and the Chiefs seem to get hands on it. Lewis, Ewers, Slade, it's through the hands this time. Arscott, crowd start to get going with Vanacola down that side. Oh, look at the sprinter go again, like he did against Bath. Lewis, but that is excellent from Northampton. They got so many men back so quickly there because Vanacola was flying, and now Northampton might counter themselves. That's the space that Elliott was trying to find, but he didn't have enough on that occasion to get away. Exciting rugby from both sides here.
Lovely pass from Arscott. The fullback puts a lot of speed on that. Bang! It's almost an intercept, you know, by Kempisi, but when he misses it, watch out, because Vanacola is electric. Dave Lewis hit with a thunderous tackle, and I think is by Samu Manoa, but this guy is so quick. But just when you think there's more on, wham!
He turns the rugby ball into a baton, doesn't he?
He does. And Manoa, he turns a tackler into just a lump, an amorphous lump. He hits so hard. Great rugby there. Whitehead
and Welsh, trusted combination today. Schumacher Here goes Matt Jess. Nearly getting away there, but it's a good tackle from Wilson. Stayed with his man well. Whitehead once more. And the gloves are starting to come off now in this final. We're moving up a level or two as Dolman goes on the outside. Lewis. Whitehead, so industrious. Not the biggest hooker, but you wouldn't know it the way he puts himself around. Matt Jess again, was that a little bit of obstruction from Mum? Might have been. Nothing too major, says the referee. It's Welsh. Lewis again. And they're banking up on the blind side. Whitehead. It's quite a big blind side to try and exploit.
They're just starting to get the width that they like, Exeter, and Northampton will worry about that. They love to pull you wide and make spaces that way.
Slade to Tui. Only really had that one man outside who was Arscott. As good as he is, there was too much to do. This is where they are, where the blue and black shirts are finding themselves. And Vinocola again gives it inside to Horseman, who stays inside. Captain Mum, Dean Mum for the line. Can he get there? Oh, he thinks he has. He is punching the air. Northampton have been getting men back and doing really well in defence. But have they done enough that time?
What we're saying, this is Exeter's game. When they can put width on their passing, they can stretch you. And when you've got men like Vinocola, you really get stretched. Mum, brilliant support. He gets that down. He knew immediately the Wallaby International has the try. Exeter needed that one. They've got it.
While he's doing it, he's also getting the best look at it. He knew straight away, Dean Mum, Exeter's special day.
Small Eja.
Needed a special moment.
You may award the try.
And it has been supplied by the captain. 10 minutes into the second half. It's a second try for his team.
Used the full width of the pitch, especially right to left. Time before when Vinocola went tearing down that touchline, the danger bells were ringing. This time, the alarm bells, well, they don't come until it's too late for Northampton. It's a super step. Kai Horseman's had a lovely game. His awareness superb, a brilliant pace. Mum in support, good strong finish. It's a lovely try. It's also a very important kick now for Slade, who started this half well.
7 as well, they've just asked. Yeah, that's fine, mate. He's coming to you now.
Henry Slade, it's there! And suddenly it's 15-3. And the belief in this ground has grown. Henry Slade starting to sort out the stats of the kicking tee as well. The important stat though now, that scoreline, and this now, big challenge here, even for someone like Northampton Saints.
It's a poor kick from Dave Lewis. Just as you get 15-3 ahead in a final, and you just want to take the ball back into the other team's half, make them start to worry, you give 30 metres away and you give Hayward and company good ball.
Tom Mercy is on and Ben Nutley on for Northampton. Mercy into the front row, Nutley into the back row.
Callum Clark has gone. Dowson moves to 6.
And Arfu off as well in the front row to allow Mercy to play. Nutley gets involved straight away. Dixon and George Peace. There is still time for Northampton to sort this out. A lot of time.
And they're a very strong finishing team with their power. They haven't yet got that game going, but they have loads of time.
Dowson, the captain. He will know the size of the task now against this team, against this crowd. Wilson. Fotuali'i. Hayward looks for the offload and gets it. Lyons Dixon all afternoon is just taking them on. Haywood once more, and Mercy now powers in. Haywood really getting a lot of hands on ball here, but
well, it was definitely an accidental offside from Manoa.
First a penalty to the Chiefs.
I don't think he gave it for that. It happened, but other thing Exeter are doing, man on man, Northampton carriers going into Exeter tacklers, and Exeter tacklers are winning those collisions. And that is one of those things you think, is that the Devon factor? Is that the new club inspired? Northampton very rarely lose those man-on-man collisions against English teams. They are at the moment losing. And look at Slade now, suddenly he feels a whole lot better. You can see that in the tackle, Northampton are going backwards. They're losing that little bang, bang every time.
That was Dean Mum right in there, just scored the try, but that was excellent work at the breakdown from Mum as well.
You close your eyes when Northampton play well, you think of Laws and Burrell and Manoa hitting the game line. It's just not happening.
Lewis to Slade, Schumark, Vinacolo. Tackle was from George Peacey. Starting to spin it now, aren't they, the Chiefs? Getting the opportunity to do that is what they've been looking for right the way through the game. Played by Horseman. Slade, that's a lovely pass to Schumark, who's bumped to the floor. In goes Elliott. And we have got a right royal strut now of the cup final, and it's terrific.
Well, you have to say Exeter are trying to play in areas where most teams in the final just wouldn't do that. Slade, he has a fabulous fizzing pass, just gets behind his man, but because they're playing 40 metres from their own try line, instead of playing territory, they're enabling Northampton to get turnovers from the errors. It's a thin line between being brave and progressive and pragmatism, and it's fascinating to see which side of the line Exeter are going to come down.
Should also say that Don Armand is on for Exeter, the South African, back from his wedding in that country.
Crouch. Binds.
His son enter the honeymoon, wouldn't it? To win a trophy here. Free kick. Fotoliti gives it to Van Veltzer, who does not need any second invitation to charge with that ball. It's good tackling again on that gain line, and Samu Manoa trying to break through. Fotoliti finding the ball not coming back makes it absolutely clear to the referee. And that penalty is now given.
Well, again, this time the penalty does go the way of Northampton, but a classic example of what we were saying about the one-on-one tackle. Armand just come on back from South Africa, his country, against fellow countryman Van Veltzer. Look at this, just off the bench. Bang! That's great technique. But then Exeter don't roll away, and Wilson's found a very good kick of his own. It's an attacking position for the Saints.
Haywood going long, he's accurate. Samu Manoa. There is a big belief about Northampton this season, and all that they've done is 13-match winning run in all competitions since that horrible night for them at home to Leinster in the Heineken Cup. Emphasises the belief, how they went to Dublin and did what they did in the return game, and they will still believe they could turn this around. They certainly will. Dixon. Fotoliti finds George Peacey, but he is thumped now by Horseman, who really clattered in there. Fotoliti again, good hands. Well, initially from Wilson to take it, but then the little flick to Waller doesn't work, and that just builds the Saints' frustration.
It does, and once again, the quality of some of the tackling is immense. Kai Horseman, he's having the best game I've seen him play in an Exeter shirt. So in all his long Premiership experience, and he's shown a fair old edge. Waller's never going to have the pace to get around there. James Wilson gives that pass, and he really needs Elliott on the wing and not his loose head prop. Not out of jail though, are they, Exeter? Because you sense that Northampton will try and turn the squeeze on at the scrum, even though Dave Lewis has the put in.
8-2. Crouch. Bind.
Want Dave Lewis here to take responsibility, I think. Oh, out of jail.
Early drive from Northampton.
Too quick. Come on.
They wanted it, didn't they? They were going to try and put the pressure on Lewis.
Free kick.
Slade. It's only a free kick, so the line-out would be for Northampton. But Slade has to smash this one long. Decent job.
Good chase from Jess as well to make sure there was no chance for Elliott to take the quick one.
We haven't seen anything, have we, from Elliott, Ken Peacey and Ben Foden, and they're a dangerous trio of counter-attackers.
Hayward throws, not straight. Keeps going for the tail and very often is doing it excellently, but not that time, and the referee didn't need to think too hard about that one as soon as it left the hands from Mike Hayward.
Always going the wrong side of the line from a referee's perspective there. Now they've just got blown on the timing of the contact last time by Andrew Small, coming early. They really want to get into Exeter here, and they're just trying to get this bang like an Olympic sprinter, timing right out of the traps. Got the nudge, didn't they?
Horseman,
Good in there.
Lewis, Whitehead, tireless, he really is. Slade again. Schumacher, who's been passing well in this second half and coming onto the ball well too. Exeter playing the game they wanted to play now. Vinocola, can Northampton stop them? Put the stranglehold back on and also create moments of their own. Here's Dave Ewers trying to get away from the tackle, does. Schumacher again, Lewis. Arscott might have a chance here. Oh, he's gone through. Luke Arscott might go all the way through. Listen to Sandy Park now. He's lost it, I think he has. So still listen to Sandy Park, but it's a very different sort of noise than it would have been.
Yeah, can you just check how it restarts the game, please?
There for Luke
Knock on in goal
Arscott.
or before he got to a goal?
He knows he doesn't get there.
Knock on in goal or knock on before this.
Yeah,
Luke
but
Arscott, his step to leave Nutley for dead was brilliant. That's what opened it
Yeah,
up.
I'm just checking whether it's in goal or not. Oh, I didn't see that.
We'll come back to the whole break later because it was quite brilliant. But does he get there? This is the key moment. The ankle tap is Photo Aliti. Peacey's in. And the ball is gone, gone. And that's so close and yet so very, very far.
And not in goal, so
He's going to we fucking get a penalty.
Smalley, this is Jeff.
Yeah, I've got the knock on before he got to in goal scrum 5 defence.
Spot on.
correct, yes. So Northampton to put in. And as good as the step was from Arscott, and you could see the space even from a low angle here on the opposite side of the ground, you just knew that Arscott had a great chance, given his tremendous skills, to deliver there. But as good as that was, how good was the defence as well to stop him?
Well, Fotoliti's come up with a world-class piece of defence with that tap tackle. Ken Peacey has got there, but unless the scrum half gets the tap in, Arscott is over. He's done nothing wrong. It's a brilliant piece of play from attack and defence.
From both teams. Up comes that scrum again, and Waller has got his reward here. A little tap there for his opposing prop, Hoani Tui. Waller has been working Tui in the scrum to the point where Tui has been popping out before, but as you said before, there's an argument that Waller's not been driving straight, but the referee sorts it out to the point where he gives the penalty, but Vinocola looks to sort it out in a very different sort of way. There's Dolman. Lewis, Ewers, Slade. Dean Munn did well not to panic there.
Exeter have set sail for glory, haven't they here? They sense it.
Yeah, they're going for it. Here's Slade towards the corner. And it's Ben Foden, who has a little bit of time himself. Nicola, here we go. Head down. Oh, into Foden. Tui has to go back. Looks for the offload there, even though he had two men all over him. As I say, Exeter looking to play their game and delivering here. Slade to Whitehead. Again, the offloading is good, but the tackling more than solid from Northampton too. Campisi on the counter-attack. Going to get some territory here, the Saints. Van Veltzer. Dixon to Dowson. Being held up, the Northampton captain. Fotuali'i to Hayward.
Again, it's Exeter win that collision.
Samuel Manoa might not win this one. Manoa getting through. And still on to George Peacey. Now Northampton have the territory. Can they profit from it? George Peacey again. Kenny's brother right in there. So they're sucked in at the breakdown. But somehow Northampton keep it alive with Hayward there. In goes Nutley to help out Foden. Fotuali'i to Waller. Here's Wilson. Need some points here, Northampton, desperately. Samu Manoa, was that forward? It was.
Well, so much power. Well, let's go back to Arscott's break. Nutley is on your left. Peacey's marking his man. What Nutley wants to do is come here and help his man. But why is he forced into this area? Because of this line, the fix here and then there. You can see him, he steps him in and out. The straight line, hold him on the outside. Peacey has to wait on his man. The hole is made. You think now it's glory and it's a great tap, and then Peacey there to help his man. Oh, the agony.
Well, he knows in that moment the final could have been all but one. That close, Luke Arscott.
And yet 2 minutes later, Miles, Manoa burst through, and you think, if not for a great tackle from Henry Slade, it's 15-12. It's advantage Exeter, but you know, one score the other way, and this match swings back towards parity again. But I definitely think the venue is making a difference, because I haven't seen Northampton beaten in the contact, beaten in the collision one-on-one quite as much as this by an English team this season.
Can I just check how much you're giving for a try these days? 15-10.
Let's go for his Exeter.
For a Northampton try, did I say 15-12? Did I? 15-10. My mathematics is sound. My logic is blown away by a week at Cheltenham.
Set.
Come on, Bernie, sharpen up. The mascot needs to get his game together. No wonder they're struggling.
But you could have 7-3. There's Slade onto Scott. It was charged down, but it still might break. Dolman trying to get the ball away.
Nothing's going Northampton's way. I think back to the start of this half. Slade's charge down that ended up in Arscott's hands, and it was safe. This time another charge, it could go anywhere. It almost ends up with a perfect break for Exeter. They're getting the breaks as well. Callum Dickey coming on here.
So double change in the front row. Alex Brown on as well. Number 16 is Luke Cowan-Dickey, as you say, onto the field. Whitehead had to run out of steam at some point. There's Ethan Waller now on for Northampton. And those bench players, so often the ones to determine the outcome. Oh, that's an offload from one PC to another that doesn't quite work. So nearly, but at the moment, that's what it feels like for Northampton. Bit of a nearly game.
Well, I thought that was just about to be one of the moments of the final so far from George Peacey. The way he fixed his men, and I thought initially that was a perfect offload there. Samoan troika together. Step check on the outside. Oh, it was Ken Peacey just took his eye off the ball. It was brilliant from the Samoan outside centre. It was brilliant.
Everybody knows the one score here for Northampton changes so much. Impact made by the Exeter front row replacements there. Moon has stayed on, but his new colleagues produced straight away. Chris Whitehead, what a match he's had today. God, he'll sleep well tonight, won't he?
How big a moment is this, Miles? PC has drawn Vinacolo there, and look at this. PC has got a run there against one man. You tell me who scores that try. PC is a flyer. That is a 5-pointer there, and the missed chance there is a huge one.
Slade, Schumacher, Slade was always going to get caught that time.
Pragmatism.
Penalty for the Saints. And they went towards the corner, much further out, of course. The previous penalty, they're still going for the corner. No real option now, given the clock has moved on and Wilson strikes a good ball. Just to go back to Chris Whitehead, said he might sleep well tonight. Might not even sleep if Exeter win.
I just 15-3 up, 12 minutes to go. You play with poetry, but there's a time for prose, and in a final, this ball should not be going laterally across the park. They don't have to score 7 points to win it. They have to get Northampton the other end of the pitch.
Taken by Samu Manar. Photo Elite. Now he's not there, the scrum half. He wants someone to play his role. It was Haywood who came in. Dixon steps inside again. Dragged forward. Photo Elite lines up Manoa again. Dowson on the floor. Dixon serves this time to Wilson. Another big hit comes in. Tremendous commitment, Dolman there. There's Foden, looks for the outside break. Slade. Thought he'd gone to Cheltenham there.
Wow. The Saints are going to have to earn this one, aren't they?
Any which way, Exeter will use here. Dowson forward again for his side. Photo Elite, Dixon, long ball, Day, on it goes! Samu Manoa hits the corner and keeps his team in the final. Saints just too good there.
Dixon, that is a gorgeous punt. And we talked about Samu Manoa's athleticism before this game. Classic example, he's got pace. But that is one hell of a pass from Glenn Dixon. That is almost the Hail Mary pass, because if this is intercepted, it's gamed. And look at Schumacher, he's a metre away. But when the American second row gets it, Hayden Thomas has no chance. Brilliant stuff from the fly half. Joy for the second row. And what a massive kick this is now for the man who made the try possible. 7 points, gives Northampton a chance to win it. A missed kick means they're looking for extra time. Wow.
Well, he's taken the ball up into contact all afternoon, Dixon, but there he produced a sumptuous pass to go wide to find his second rows, and they didn't disappoint with their finish. Now can he really finish it off here? Looking for the win to bring it in, but not that much. So Northampton, inside the final 10 minutes of this final, know that first port of call is extra time.
Isn't that a brilliant play there from Dixon? Now the key is, what do Exeter do? I must say, I felt that Slade wraparound ball was so naive, and that led to the penalty, and that led to the try. Slade and Exeter have now got to say, forget what our pragmatism is and the 5-year progress plan. We got a final win. Get down the other end and force Northampton to play.
Oh, confusion at the restart there, and Elliott coming in and expecting, I think, from Felser to field it. It didn't happen, and it gives Exeter a great chance here. It was touched as well.
It's a good kick-off, but Northampton got themselves back in the game. Oh, and it's the left hand of Elliott. Dorian West can't believe it, because he knows now that Exeter surely throw this to 2 and they drive a line out. And if Cowan Dickey can get this right, he could be on the end of it, as we have seen Whitehead. This has been a major strength for Exeter, the catch and drive close in.
Ross McMillan now on for Northampton, also James Craig. There's Luke Cowan-Dickey. Came second in the LV Breakthrough Player of the Year competition behind Bath's Ollie Devoto. We've got a little break in play here. I think both sides might appreciate that as they gather their thoughts and strength for the final push.
And their nerve. Exeter against Bath, both teams were very, very tense, and they didn't keep their cool. Exeter, with the big hits flying in, have to keep theirs today. We've seen some amazing hits for 70 minutes, but this game now, if Exeter are going to win it, is won either by a drive here or by keeping their nerve and playing in the right part.
Hayden Thomas on for the Chiefs. There he is, scrum half. Ken Pesey's gone off, and Otangavaya has come on for the Saints here at the finish. Penalty, and with a difference at 7 points here. This is massive.
I think Henry Slade has got to go up to his captain and say, mate, I'm taking this. Good lad, he's taken on he wanted it. He wanted it.
The word there from Dave Ewers to wish him well.
This is a hard kick. You know the touchline conversion from Dixon, it faded left. For that kick to go over from that distance, you've got to start it about 10-15 metres wide, so it becomes a sort of a 50-metre kick. So you're looking at the angle on this, and I don't know if we've got time to say how far it technically is, but with the wind, it makes it so different. It puts an extra 15 metres on the kick, and then there's the matter of judgment as well. You see, this one, Miles, has to go 10 metres outside the left post to come back in, unless he can drill it low, and that's hard.
Well, it's been a noisy place this afternoon, but now the hush descends. Nothing really on your shoulders, young man, apart from 143 years without a major trophy.
Start it left, comes right, it's advantage Exeter.
He's a hero if he does that. Henry Slade. Oh, he's looking good! Hits the upright. Just right at the end. Fell away. And here is Slade staying brilliantly infield, putting it out of his mind somehow to make that catch. When he turned away, I think he thought he got it. Horseman.
Not stop carrying and playing Horseman.
Thomas to Brown. Slade's picked up again, and the flag goes up, but that's two fine takes from Slade. when all manner of things must be racing through his brain.
The point, Miles, it didn't quite go wide enough, and you can see, but that's a hellishly hard kick to say let's start it 10 metres or so out, but that's how far it had to go. It's a great strike, and Baxter thinks, oh, that's almost the final. Now it's 7 points in it, and Northampton, a lot of experience. Game management becomes the key word now.
Alex Day is on at scrum half. There he is. Photo Elite, he goes to fly half with Dixon going off. Nutley juggling, loses it. Here's Ewers. The Chiefs now have possession. Just over 5 minutes left of their home final. Slade to Schumacher. That's Dolman, who's done that all afternoon, just by his side, a few metres with that step of his. Mum, who's been back to his try-scoring form today. When it's mattered most, Cowan Dickey, that was a block.
That's a penalty, that is not accidental.
Accidental offside.
No.
Not according to Andrew Small.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Just watch where the tackle is made and then what happens. Not a chance. Look at that. How can they? He's shoved the bloke out the way. Andrew Small's had a good game, but this is an awful decision. That's accidental. It's a great position.
Scrum down, green ball.
You don't want to criticise Miles, but can I hazard your opinion on that?
Well, it should have been a penalty, and it could make all the difference.
Yeah, because Northampton have got that could have given Northampton 40 metres. This is the touchline you want to be kicking down, because it's where the wind will drift the ball.
But it's not, and Northampton have to go from here with Alex Day. Been the first ever sellout LV Cup final, and hasn't it felt like it here at Sandy Park today?
Get your feet under yourselves, please.
And they are minutes, the home supporters, away from celebrating a first major trophy for their beloved club. Travelling Northampton fans, their allocation sold out as well. Wait nervously to see if their side this season has conjured up some big moments. Can they do it again? And they get the penalty that should have been awarded a minute or so ago.
Now James Wilson has to do what Myler's done all season and go for distance. The wind is with him, and the kick is a good one.
He strikes a heavy long board as Wilson, and he's done it again there.
It's another interesting call. Every call in this situation is so important. Do Northampton remember balls to the tail have drifted out? McMillan has to go short or middle and make it his.
McMillan to Dowson. Had a quick glance at the back line there. George Peacey is pacing around. He knows he's got the Midas touch, but he's not going to be able to show it here. Just over 2 minutes, and Exeter Chiefs have the put in.
Well, that's one of the most important chokes in a positive sense that Exeter have come up with. They hold up Northampton when Northampton have been unstoppable, and the tomahawks are being sharpened. There's a big scout from the East Midlands, and they can smell blood now. Exeter 2 minutes away.
Crouch, bind, set.
And Northampton have got to try and make that the toughest 2 minutes in Exeter history for the home side here. Dowson knows that. Leeds off the back of that scrum to make the first tackle. Can they affect the turnover? Hayden Thomas, that's drifting out. And Northampton will have the line out.
Little things. Oh, Jim Mallander's team get another chance. Small error from Exeter there.
Think of someone like Alex Waller, losing finalist last 3 seasons, different competitions of course. Northampton to lose another final here. Oh. Craig beaten in the air. McMillan tries to get down there. Who touched that last?
Welsh.
Came off an Exeter player, yes, Welsh, so Northampton to throw in.
That'll do though, I mean from Welsh's point of view and Exeter's, that was a great hand going out because that's taken another 45 seconds out. We're effectively in the last play with a difficulty kick in. Northampton need a try between the 15-metre line.
Down to Day. Dowson driven back in midfield. Day again. Van Veltzer, how he's charged forward today. But it's just been the one try for the Saints. They've got to find another now. Otherwise the trophy belongs to the Chiefs. Ethan Waller put on the floor and he managed to turn. He got the ball off to McMillan. Day again. Dowson once more. These important meters, yes, but somehow they've got to get closer. They've got to break through. Van Veltzer has a go, and look at the effort being put in here by the Chiefs in defence. They are flying in to make every tackle. But George Peacey, if he's going down, he will go down with a fight, that man. He's been desperate to get his hands on the ball, but he needs to be closer in. Elliott too. The Chiefs hold him up, but Elliott somehow gets the ball down. In goes Craig. Photo Elise there. The clock is in red, and the faces are red here. From the Exeter Chiefs defenders, they're holding the player up, they're looking at the referee. That's the whistle. It's a day that Exeter Rugby will never, ever forget. Just listen to this place now. And to be fair, there have been a fair few of those days of late, never to be forgotten days. But none of them have ended like this, with a trophy. The Chiefs have never felt like this before.
Undoubtedly, Exeter deserved it. They came into the game as the underdogs. But apart from a couple of missed kicks from Slade, their game plan went to perfection. Huge celebration, and it is notable that at the end, the choke tackle that kept Northampton from getting the ball to the ground came from Kai Horseman. He led his team, along with Ewers, at the breakdown brilliantly. Outstanding performance. He's my LV man of the match, but they've got stars elsewhere. Dolman at 13 played really well. And for Exeter, where was this game won? The gain line. Northampton have bossed the gain line. They have dominated the contact all season against their English rivals. Today, with a home crowd behind him, Rob Baxter's team won the one-on-ones. They won the gain line. They stopped Northampton developing that power game, and with it, they win the game. Sad for Northampton, but they still have a lot to play for.